Hey everyone, welcome to Wax Pack Wisdom. I'm Jake T. O'Donnell. Today I'm going to show you guys some cards from my PC, sort of a mini PC that I've developed over the course of the last couple of years that I've mentioned on the channel before. And I'm excited to show you guys. It's all cards from the 1970s. It's all raw cards. And I'll show those to you in a minute. So I actually already recorded the part where I went over to the table and showed the cards. And I'm re-recording the intro part because I spent like 15 minutes working on it, and then I realized that the audio didn't work. It sounded terrible. There was some sort of feedback thing. I don't know what was going on. So I'm re-recording it this time. I think it'll be a little bit shorter this time, and maybe it was better that it worked out this way. Hopefully the audio is working now, and I'm not going to have to do this again. So a couple things first. Check out the hit list this week. We recorded that. Myself, Matt from Providence. It was a lot of fun. We covered a lot of ground. We talked about a lot of topics. We talked about stuff that was a little controversial maybe, and it was a lot of fun. We talked about the Hall of Fame. We kind of got into it. Matt and I disagree, and it was it was fun regardless. And I haven't had a lot of other videos recently. I just haven't had a lot of pickups. I've been kind of saving money since Shriners or spending money on other things. I did win a couple cards in collector investor auctions that ended this past weekend. Hopefully those cards will come in maybe beginning of next week, and I can do a video to show those. I'm super excited about the 2 cards I won. I have some other stuff that I picked up on Facebook that I haven't been invoiced for yet that hopefully I'll get those probably closer to the maybe beginning of December. And I'm really excited to show those when those come in. And I did go to the Best Flippin' Card Show over the weekend, this past weekend. If you watched the hit list, you saw this, and I'll show it again. I got this nice 52 Bowman Pee Wee Reese in a PSA 2. And this is a beautiful card, nice addition. It's because I sold that usual 52 Bowman, and I thought I'll get a nice new 52 Bowman Hall of Famer back in the PC, and I grabbed this Pee Wee Reese. So love this card. Happy to show this alongside my 50 Bowman Jackie and my 51 Bowman Campy. And I guess I need to get the 53 Bowman Color Duke Snider, which is an amazing card. So I guess like it's been a time to listen and reflect a lot. I feel like after all of the stuff that's happened over the last couple of weeks, and as we kind of have to be maybe a little bit more aware about who we're going up against when we try to buy a card. And I'm still going to use auction houses. I'm still going to, go for bigger cards. But I think that it's a reminder that even though I am, again, of the belief that the shill bidding and market manipulation that's been uncovered recently affects all of us in the hobby if you buy cards. I believe that 100%. And that we as consumers and we as buyers have to do something about it, whatever it is. If it's just being more aware or not using certain auction houses or just really setting a limit with what you're going to buy, what you're going to spend on a card. I think with that in mind, there are ways to collect things that can fulfill you that are not like you're not spending a ton of money on it, and it minimizes the risk that you're going to be ripped off. And for me, that goes back to this mini PC that I'm talking about. And it's guys that when I was a kid, I watched kind of the end of their careers. Like they were Hall of Fame. They ended up going to the Hall of Fame. Some of the guys, it took them a little while to go to the Hall of Fame. But they were guys that I really looked up to and respected as they sort of got to the end of their careers. And I remember getting to watch them on TV at the end of their careers, usually when they would play against the Red Sox, or in some cases when they would play for the Red Sox. And we'll mention that for a couple of these guys. And I have 6 raw binder pages that contain the 1970s cards of guys who debuted in the 70s and in one case in the 60s. And I got to see them play at the end of their careers in the 90s. And those players are, and I have the first binder page here, and like I said, I'm going to show them to you over there at the table. Paul Molitor, Alan Trammell, Eddie Murray, Dave Winfield, Robin Yount, George Brett, Dennis Eckersley, Andre Dawson, Carlton Fisk, and Nolan Ryan. So it's those guys that I really, like I said, it was awesome to get to see them at the end of their careers. And so, like, I remember like Robin Yount and George Brett when they both got 3,000 hits, and those were big milestones. That was a big deal, and I remember wanting to learn more about why was that such a milestone. So that's when I learned about Ty Cobb and Nap Lajoie and all these other guys that had done that. Stan Musial. And then, when when Eddie Murray got to 500 hits, 500 home runs, and then I think Dave Winfield also has over 500 home runs. I remember learning more about Babe Ruth and then but guys further down the list like Harmon Killebrew and Reggie Jackson and Billy, Ernie Banks and Mel Ott and those guys. And then I remember getting Nolan Ryan. I remember watching him pitch in a game at the very end of his career on TV, watching him pitch against Roger Clemens when Clemens was still on the Red Sox. And, Carlton Fisk was this big figure because he had played in Boston. I remember seeing him at the end with the White Sox. And I remember Andre Dawson played with the Red Sox near the end of his career. And that was great. And Eckersley did too. That was a few years later. But so these were just guys that I really liked them and respected them and made me love the game more and made me love the history of the game more. So I ask you, let me know in the comments if there are guys, whether it's any of these guys or other guys, that you remember when you first got into watching play that were kind of at the end of their careers. And do you remember, what do you remember about them? And did you collect their cards? Do you collect their cards now? I'm just curious because I don't know if anybody else experienced this as well when they were a kid. And, there's a few guys that maybe could fit this description that I don't have any of their cards in this particular PC. One is Gary Carter, who I think 92 was his last year. I don't remember watching Gary Carter play. He played in the National League, and it was before interleague play, and I don't remember watching. These are all guys that I remember I watched them, at least I watched them on TV. Maybe in a couple instances I might have seen Andre Dawson play. And Dawson, Trammell, those were guys that they kind of became Hall of Famers near the end of their career, and it took them a long time to get into the Hall of Fame, but still guys that I just really liked and looked up to. So yeah, let me know in the comments if that resonates with you at all. So I'm going to show you what I had recorded before of going over to the table and showing you these cards. Like I said, it's 6 binder pages. The Nolan Ryan cards start with 73. I don't have, I used to have his rookie. I've never had any of his other cards from before that, and they're all, pretty expensive cards you wouldn't really put in a binder. So, but it starts with 73 with Nolan. And yeah, and if Lou Whitaker gets in the Hall of Fame, I would be thrilled to add his rookie and his 79 card in my in the binder here. He deserves to be in for sure. Another guy that is in this category of guys that I liked and looked up to, even though he's in the National League, because he played later. He played until 96. Is Ozzie Smith, but the only rookie of his I have is in a PSA 4, and I do have the rookies of Yount and Brett in PSA holders from the 75 set. And some of these other guys I have like a graded Molitor, but I do have a raw one here too. And so let's go over to the table and I'll show you those. Last thing before I go over there is I will be at the Northeast Sports Card Expo on Sunday. So if you see me there, say hello. I should be there probably right when they open at like 9:30. It's a great show in Quincy. There's great vintage. We talked about it on the hit list on Wednesday. So check that out. And yeah, that's it. So let's head over to the table and I'll show you guys show you guys this little mini PC of mine. All right, so let's take a look here. I have I just pulled out the binder pages. Like I said, there's 6 of them, and we'll start with the first page that just has all these mostly has the rookies or whatever is kind of the earliest that I have in the binder for each of these. So there you see my hold on one second. I gotta fix the microphone here. Okay. There you see I have the Molitor Trammell rookie. I can't tell you how much as a kid I wanted this card. And we never had it. It was always I feel like in the early 90s it was more expensive than it is today. But I have a graded copy of this, and I have this one here. My Murray rookie. This Winfield was one that I actually had raw. It was graded. It was a PSA 3, and then I cracked it back out and put it in the binder. That's just how it goes with me sometimes. Then you see the 76s there, the Eckersley rookie. I also have that in my 76 set. All of these guys, those cards I also have in my 76 set. And then at the bottom there, you see the Dawson rookie. The Fisk rookie cup, I do have his rookie in my Red Sox binder. And then, like I said, the 73 Ryan. So that's the first page. Second page. We got the 79 Fisk, the 77. So that's the 77 record breaker. So that's from 7. That's 76, but it is a 77 card. And then the 76 Nolan. Then that is a cloth sticker, 77 cloth sticker of Winfield. Again, 78, the record breaker of Nolan, and then the 78 Yount. I love Robin Yount had the funniest hair, right? I mean, and then of course years later he grew out the mustache and everything. Great 78 Brett there, 79 Dawson, and the 79 Yount. So it's good stuff there. Next page, we got the great sideburns on Winfield there, the 78, the awesome horizontal 74 Fisk, and then the Dawson Rookie Cup from 78, which is a great card. 78 Nolan, and then 77s for Eckersley and Brett. And then more 79s down there, row of 79s, Molitor, Murray, and Winfield. So obviously Molitor and Murray, that's the only other cards besides their rookies that I have here. And then the 78 Winfield. Do we like the old Padres uniforms? Let me know. I don't know. I'm not sure if everybody loves them as much as I do. I'm a fan. Not everybody maybe is. Okay. Nolan, 79, as well as the 75 Fisk. You've seen that card if you watched our series. And then Winfield, 76. And then, man, what that Eckersley card from 79, that with the Red Sox or a jacket and the hair, man, love Eckersley. 70, what a great 77 Fisk there with is that Mickey Rivers sliding into home? Dan's Vintage Baseball PC. Tell me if that's Mickey Rivers. And then Brewers, there's Yount there, the 77. And then the 79 Brett, the 78 Fisk, and then the one other Trammell card, the 79 Trammell there. As you can see, these aren't really in any particular order, but then there's this with the 78 Eckersley, 77 Ryan, and a pretty beat up 75 Winfield there. And then another 70. I guess I have two 76 Winfields. I don't think I realized that. Okay, well that's funny. And then 75 Ryan and a 75 or 76 Fisk. And then we have the Hostess cards at the bottom here. These are the only Hostess ones that I have. Of Yount and Brett. I'd have to look on the back. They're all from different years, it looks like. So let's see on the back what years those are. So that is, looks like it's 76 Yount, 77 Yount, 76 Brett, and 79 Yount. So there you go. Gotta love those. So now the last one, we got some leaders cards. We got 73 with Carlton and Ryan, 79 with Ryan and J.R. Richard, and then 77 with Nolan and Seaver. Then the batting leaders with Brett. There's also those. I guess those are technically rookie cards of Eckersley and Yount with SSPC. The sort of regular 77 Winfield, another 75 Ryan, and then the big league brothers of Brett and his brother Ken Brett, who played for the Red Sox as well. So that's it. I hope you guys like this little trip down memory lane. Again, let me know who are guys that you looked up to that were kind of at the end of their careers when you first started watching baseball, and were they important to you at all? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear it. Check out our ComC store. We're going to have more stuff coming in ComC. I believe next week there's going to be special, so you'll get lower prices on some of the items in ComC. Check that out. Check out where to follow us on social media. Please watch the hit list from earlier this week. And please check out our list of favorite nonprofits and charities. It would mean a lot if you could support one of them. So thanks so much for watching, and we will see you next time on Wax Back Wisdom. Take care.